I came home earlier than planned, and what I saw that night changed everything I thought I knew about love, family, and trust. My name's Laura Bennett. I'm 31 years old, and I'd been married to Marcus for almost a decade. We had a picture-perfect life on the surface, the kind of life people envy: cute suburban house in Colorado Springs, cozy backyard, where we'd grill on weekends, photos of us smiling on every wall. But that night peeled back every illusion I'd been living under. I was supposed to come home Saturday morning. I'd been away for a 3-day work conference in Denver, the kind of trip that leaves you exhausted, eating hotel food, nodding through endless meetings. But when Friday evening rolled around, I missed my own bed. I missed my kitchen. I missed Marcus, or at least I thought I did. So I threw my bag into the back of my car, grabbed a late-night coffee, and drove the 2 hours home. When I pulled into our driveway, the house looked still. The porch light was on, the curtains drawn tight. I smiled to myself, thinking Marcus was probably watching TV, maybe dozing off on the couch. I grabbed my bag, unlocked the door quietly so I wouldn't wake him. But the second I stepped inside, something felt off. The air was heavy, thick with a tension I couldn't name. Then I heard it: laughter. A woman's laughter. Soft, breathy, intimate. I froze. My heart skipped, then started hammering so hard I could feel it in my throat. Marcus didn't usually have people over when I was gone. I set my bag down gently and followed the sound, my bare feet moving across the hardwood like a ghost. As I crept down the hallway, the laughter turned into whispers, then a moan that made my stomach twist violently. And that's when I heard her voice. My baby sister's voice. Hannah. The sister I'd practically raised after our dad walked out. The sister who used to sleep in my bed when she had nightmares. I stood outside our bedroom door, trembling so hard I thought my knees might give out. Their voices were clearer now. "What if I get pregnant?" Hannah whispered. She sounded nervous, but excited. Marcus chuckled low and reassuring. "Don't worry, baby. I'll get you your own apartment, take care of everything. I'll divorce Laura. She doesn't need to know." It felt like someone had stabbed me right through the chest. I bit my lip until I tasted blood, holding in a scream that wanted to tear out of me. My whole body was shaking, but something in me, maybe survival instinct, kicked in. I didn't slam the door open. I didn't cry or yell. I pulled my phone out, turned on the camera, and with trembling hands, I pushed the door open just enough to capture them. Marcus, my husband, kissing my sister like she was the love of his life. They were laughing, tangled together, making plans for a future without me. I don't know how I kept myself from collapsing right there. I filmed just long enough to have proof, then backed away as quietly as I'd come. I slipped out of the house into my car and drove down the street before I finally let myself break. I sobbed into the steering wheel until my whole body hurt. I wanted to storm back in, scream at them, smash every plate in that kitchen. But then I looked at my phone screen, at that video glowing back at me like a weapon. And I thought, no, screaming would give them the upper hand. They'd twist it, deny it, make me look crazy. But this video, this was power. I drove around aimlessly for half an hour before I returned home. When I walked in, the house was quiet, like nothing had happened. I slipped into the guest bedroom instead of ours, backed up the video on my laptop, uploaded it to the cloud, even sent a copy to my email. I wasn't taking chances. And when I finally let myself cry again, it wasn't just for Marcus. It was for Hannah, my sister, my own blood. That betrayal cut deeper than I could explain. But as the hours passed and the tears ran out, something shifted. The pain hardened into steel. They thought I was naive, too trusting. Maybe I was. But they were about to find out what happens when you underestimate someone like me. The next morning, I plastered a smile on my face. I walked into the kitchen like nothing was wrong. Marcus was drinking coffee, scrolling through his phone, and Hannah was at the counter sipping tea. She wouldn't even meet my eyes. "You're back early," Marcus said, acting surprised. "Yeah," I said lightly. "Conference wrapped up sooner than I thought. Figured I'd surprise you." I even kissed him on the cheek, and when he smiled at me, I smiled back. But inside, I was memorizing every detail of his fake innocence. For weeks, I played that role. The loving wife, the trusting sister. I cooked their favorite meals, laughed at their jokes, even hugged Hannah when she dropped by after work. And every night I rewatched that video until the tears dried and only determination remained. I started planning. I didn't want a confrontation in the heat of the moment. I wanted something they would never forget, something that would strip away every ounce of dignity they pretended to have. And then it came to me, the family reunion. Once a year, my mom hosted this massive get-together. Aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, all under one roof. Normally it was full of laughter, kids running around tables of food. This year, it would be a stage. My stage. As the date approached, I worked quietly, gathering every family photo I could find and building a slideshow for after dinner, a slideshow that would start sweet, nostalgic, heartwarming. Until it didn't. I added the video at the very end, and I backed it up on a flash drive, another on my laptop, and one more hidden in my purse. I wasn't taking chances. The night before the reunion, I sat in my car in the driveway staring at our house. I could hear them laughing inside, their voices carrying through the window. I gripped the steering wheel and whispered to myself, "You think you broke me. You have no idea what's coming." The day of the reunion was beautiful. Sunlight, blue skies, the smell of barbecue drifting from my mom's backyard. I dressed in a navy blue dress, heels, and makeup sharp enough to cut glass. Marcus whistled when he saw me. "Damn, babe, you look amazing." I smiled sweetly. "Thanks. It's going to be a memorable day." At my mom's house, relatives swarmed us with hugs. Hannah was already there wearing a floral sundress, her hair in loose curls. She hugged me tight, kissed my cheek like she wasn't sleeping with my husband. My stomach turned, but I hugged her back, even whispered, "You look beautiful," in her ear. Her smile flickered nervously. Dinner was full of chatter and laughter. My dad bragged about his tomato plants. My aunt told her usual long-winded stories. Marcus and Hannah stayed close to each other, but careful, too careful. I caught the quick glances, the little smirks, and my blood boiled. But I stayed calm, smiling, sipping my wine, waiting for my moment. After dessert, everyone gathered in the living room. My dad clinked his glass, thanking everyone for being there. I stood up, my legs steady despite the adrenaline surging through me. Before we wrap up, I said, smiling at the crowd, "I have something to share." I turned on the TV. At first, the slideshow was harmless photos of family vacations, Christmas mornings, birthday cakes. People laughed and pointed at old hairstyles. Marcus relaxed, his arm draped casually over the couch. Hannah sipped her wine, pretending not to care. And then, the video changed. Hannah's voice filled the room. "What if I get pregnant? What about Laura?" Marcus's voice followed, smooth and certain. "I'll get you an apartment, take care of you. I'll divorce her." The room froze. Every eye turned toward Marcus and Hannah, and then the sound of them laughing and kissing filled the silence. My mom gasped, covering her mouth. My dad's face turned red with fury. My aunt dropped her wine glass, and it shattered on the floor. Cousins whispered. Some stood up. Hannah went pale, shrinking into her seat. Marcus leapt to his feet. "Laura, turn it off." I didn't. I crossed my arms and let the video play out in full, every disgusting second of it. When it ended, the silence was deafening. I finally spoke. "For weeks, you two have been laughing behind my back, sneaking around, planning a future without me. You thought I was blind. You thought I'd never know. Well, now you're both exposed, not just to me, but to everyone. Laura, please," Marcus started, his voice cracking. "Don't." I reached into my purse and pulled out a folder. "This," I said, holding it up, "is our divorce petition. Already signed. Already filed. You want freedom so badly, Marcus. Congratulations. You're free. And Hannah, sweet little sister, you wanted to be me so badly. You can have him." Gasps filled the room. Hannah tried to speak, her voice trembling. "Laura, I didn't mean to." What I snapped. "Didn't mean to betray your sister. Didn't mean to destroy a family. Or you didn't mean to get caught." No one defended them. No one spoke. The shame was thick, suffocating. Marcus reached for me, tears in his eyes, but I stepped back. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. What you two did, that was a choice. Over and over again. I handed the remote to my cousin and walked out head high. Behind me, I heard whispers, sobs, my dad's angry voice booming. But I didn't look back. I stepped into the cool night air and felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Freedom. Power. Because revenge isn't about screaming or throwing punches. It's about showing the truth so loudly they can never escape it, and then walking away with your dignity intact. That night, I proved they couldn't break me. Betrayal cuts deep, especially when it comes from the people you love most. But patience, silence, and truth. That's how you win. If you were me, would you have exposed them publicly or walked away quietly? Would you forgive or let them drown in their own shame? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear your stories. And remember, trust is fragile. Once it's broken, there's no glue strong enough to fix it.